Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Next at noon, the search for Nancy Guthrie enters its second week with the deadline from another ransom note just hours away.
Plus, a tragedy in Round Lake Beach. An 8-year-old boy found unresponsive inside a home. The disturbing details surrounding his death.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Sylvia Perez.
And I'm Natalie Bumpke, and we want to talk weather. First and foremost here, we got a big warm-up on the way for you this week as we take a live look outside. And Caitlin Cody's here to tell us all about it.
Fantastic weather. Yes,
Good.
The 40s today, tomorrow, then the upper 30s. Then the 40s are back again this weekend. So the temperatures are getting cranked up a dial. We are going to be above normal all week and staying dry. So satellite radar, the regional view, does show how quiet it is in Chicagoland. A few clouds here or there, but overall it is going to be a quiet early afternoon with those climbing temperatures. Right now we're sitting at freezing, so we're about to crack above freezing, which means we're going to start to thaw out throughout Chicagoland. Right now, it's already 36 degrees in Joliet as well as LaSalle, 33 in Kankakee, Northwest Indiana, temperatures in the upper 20s from Valpo to 36 degrees in Gary. Here's your day planner. Temperatures are going to be right around the upper 30s and low 40s. Right around 40 as our high today for Chicago, but southwestern areas, Kankakee County, LaSalle County, you are going to be in the mid 40s. Now tomorrow, temperatures are going to be even warmer. I expect to be right around 44 as our high, and that's when those of you in those southwestern areas could be around 50, which I'm getting super excited about because 50 degrees, that sounds wonderful. Now, Wednesday, a little bit cooler, 37 degrees expected to be our high. We're going to have more sunshine in the forecast, and the upper 30s will be back again on Thursday before temperatures get to about 40 on Friday, and then this weekend, the 40s will be back with the chance for precipitation. I'll show you that in your full 7-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Caitlin. An unusual order is causing many Illinois and Northwest community residents to be on high alert.
Yes, it was first detected over the weekend and sparked several calls to emergency responders. Saquon is here. She joins us live with the latest. So you went out to Algonquin where there were a lot of reports of this strange smell, even to 911 operators.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, this was kind of happening all throughout the weekend. And really, when we were out there in Algonquin, we were asking people, you know, what are you smelling? We've heard about these reports, and it's hard to say because a lot of them have been, you know, very varying answers, right? Some people were talking to me about, you know, how they smelled gas over the weekend, and other people were just saying it smelled like garbage outside. So it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what they were smelling, and I'm too nosy, so I need to, like, figure this out. Algonquin fire officials, though, did put out a statement on Facebook, and they did say that they've received many 911 calls about chemical or burning electrical smells. Reports from all over, too, guys, from central Illinois to Indiana and as far north as Wisconsin border. The source of all of this, again, guys, still unknown, but they did say that they're going to look into it with regional partners and other agencies. Now, they did also say that if you are experiencing anything like troubled breathing or, you know, dizziness, nausea, anything like that, you should definitely go see a doctor and only call 911 if it's an absolute.
Wow, so this covers a broad area then.
Yes.
Okay, so you were out there. Did you smell anything?
I didn't smell anything, and I think that was probably the most frustrating thing about this because I was like, I'm going to go track down the smell. I'm going to go figure out what's going on.
Follow your nose.
Yeah, I couldn't smell anything. I will say, though, this morning when we were leaving the station here in the downtown area, we smelled something that kind of, I don't know, resembled like a pool, maybe chlorine. And then as soon as we left the city, you couldn't smell it at all.
Yeah.
So riddle me that.
So are there concerns, though? Because obviously people calling 911.
Yeah.
And though has the smell dissipated over the last few days? What do you know about that?
We haven't heard anything. You know, we've reached out to fire officials again. We've reached out to just about everyone that we can reach out to about this, and we haven't heard anything back. So I wonder if, you know, obviously they talked about working with regional partners. Maybe they're in that process right now. I will say, when I talked to the police department, they were like, we don't know what's going on with this. I think that's all it has to do with the fire department, and still nothing yet.
Yeah, you wonder if they work with them, you can determine maybe something was on fire at a certain time and the wind was blowing in a certain direction.
Yes.
So we'll see, I guess.
Okay, well, keep on and let us know if you find anything out.
Yeah, I sure will, you guys.
Thank you, Say.
Thanks.
Well, this is a super sad story developing here. A mother and her boyfriend charged with killing the mother's 8-year-old son, and both of them are due in court today.
Dominique Servant and Joey Ruffin arrested Friday in Round Lake Beach. Authorities say the child was found unresponsive inside a home on Cedar Lake Road. He was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. The coroner's office says 8-year-old Markel Pierce was malnourished and suffered long-term physical and mental abuse. His 10-year-old brother was also reportedly hospitalized.
And police are asking, do you recognize this guy? They say that he is accused of robbing a Cricket wireless store over the weekend on Collins Street. Joliet police say the man told an employee he had a gun. He demanded money. Investigators say he took $1,000 before running away. So if you have any information, you are to contact Joliet police or Will County Crime Stoppers.
More than a week after Nancy Guthrie went missing, investigators are continuing to search for any new leads in the case.
And her family is once again pleading with whomever took her to bring her home. Caroline Elliott has more.
The latest from the Pima County Sheriff's Office is there's still no suspect or persons of interest in this case, as we are now just hours away from that ransom deadline. A ransom note has given Nancy Guthrie's family until 5 p.m. today to hand over millions of dollars in Bitcoin, warning the family of a more serious consequence if the money is not paid.
That doesn't mean the end of the story. I think it will be the next chapter.
In a video released Saturday, her children told the possible kidnappers they're willing to pay.
Any transaction, any interaction with them is going to help tracking them down, because someone has to appear somewhere to receive that money, either computerized or a physical pickup.
Over the weekend, Fox News Digital learned that 2 officers visited a gas station near Nancy Guthrie's home and asked to review surveillance video related to an unidentified male. Investigators also searched what appeared to be a manhole behind Nancy's home, and on Saturday night went back for a second time to her daughter Annie's home.
We'd be in a much more dire situation if we were hearing that they weren't doing anything and it was just a wait and see situation.
The FBI is also digging into mountains of data from not only Nancy Guthrie's home, but her neighbors as well. Experts say even if a door camera didn't capture a clear image, investigators can still grab what's known as unseen data. For example, clocking an unusual movement.
Doesn't mean that technology has not logged the ability to see it, but didn't think it was big enough to ping that app we may use.
On Friday night, President Trump said he thinks the investigation is going well and says he does believe we should have some answers soon. In Tucson, Arizona, Caroline Elliott, Fox Chicago.
Happening tonight, closer to home, the city of Harvey is expected to appoint an acting mayor after the death of Mayor Christopher Clark. The council failed to select a successor during last week's meeting. Right now, Alderwoman Shirley Drewinski is serving as the pro tem mayor. Whoever's elected will serve until April 2027, and of course, we'll keep you updated.
New at this hour for you, Governor Pritzker endorsing State Representative Margaret Croak for controller. He praised her record on transparency, bipartisan work, and balanced budgets. Croak previously served as deputy chief in the governor's Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. And Governor Pritzker was in Bellevue this morning to highlight the expansion of the state's sales tax and revenue bonds program, or what they call the STAR program.
This is a recently passed legislation that lets local governments issue those bonds to companies to help fund construction projects.
The governor says this will help lure major developers and create even more jobs in the state.
By expanding this STAR Bonds program, we're opening up more paths to sustainable growth across communities in Illinois. And this is yet another way that we are boosting small businesses with the partnership of state and local government, of community partners, and economic development organizations.
In order to be eligible for a STAR bond, the construction project must create at least 300 new jobs. A growing battle over a massive Amazon data center. The group No Data Centers Hobart, Indiana, is suing the city over its proposed $11 billion project. They claim the city council violated state law by skipping key steps before approving the plan. A Lake County judge will decide on Wednesday whether city leaders can move forward with the fill permit, and we will keep you posted here on Fox Chicago. The Lombardi Trophy is heading back to Seattle.
Yes, it is. The Seahawks dominated the Patriots in Super Bowl 60, cruising to a 29-13 win. And thanks to a relentless defense, sacking Patriots quarterback Drake May 6 times, it was a bit of deja vu for those who remember their first win 12 years ago. The team's defense carried them to that title and did so once again on Sunday.
They just made a decision. They're going to play a certain way. They lived up to the dark side today. It's going to go down in the history books. We love our players. Look, they made it happen. They made it come to life, and we won the game.
The running game for the Seahawks also was incredible, with Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III rushing for 135 yards on 27 carries, and kicker Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record, 5 field goals. And the clock is ticking in Congress as another government funding deadline nears.
Coming up, we're going to tell you what Republicans and Democrats are holding their ground on. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've got a live look at the nation's capital, where lawmakers are facing another tough deadline. Funding for much of the Department of Homeland Security runs out after Friday. And there isn't much optimism that Republicans and Democrats can actually reach a deal.
So this is primarily a standoff over ICE and immigration enforcement, but the funding lapse could be huge, hitting everything from TSA once again to FEMA. Democrats say this one is on Republicans.
Either they're going to agree to dramatically reform the way in which ICE and other immigration enforcement agencies are conducting themselves so that they're behaving like every other law enforcement agency in the country, or they're making the explicit decision to shut down the Coast Guard, shut down FEMA, and shut down TSA, and that would be very unfortunate.
While there is already some give on Democratic demands such as body cameras for ICE agents, Republicans say they will not support banning face masks and other demands, citing agent safety. And happening today, members of Congress will be able to review unredacted files connected to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Justice Department says lawmakers can review millions of documents, but only in person. Lawmakers say the move is a step toward transparency after years of questions about Epstein and his associates following his death. In the meantime, Ghislaine Maxwell invoking the Fifth Amendment, that is, during a virtual deposition with the White House Oversight Committee.
Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence at a Texas facility after being convicted over her role of procuring victims for Jeffrey Epstein. Committee members say her response, though, was very disappointing, and they are hoping to make headway on the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein through other upcoming depositions.
President Trump standing firm on not apologizing for the video depicting former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. When asked about it while aboard Air Force One, the president said the video was more so about fraudulent elections.
I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. They had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on The Lion King. And certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it.
The White House has removed that post, claiming it was mistakenly shared by a staffer. So far, the Obamas have not commented on this publicly.
A leading U.S. health official is urging people to get vaccinated against measles. Dr. Mehmet Oz says outbreaks in several states are fueling concern as vaccination rates fall, and he adds that Medicare and Medicaid will continue to cover the vaccine. This warning comes amid ongoing debate within the Trump administration over vaccine policy and growing public distrust of vaccines.
Let's take a live look outside on what looks like a cold winter's day, but it's not as bad as it appears. This is one of those deceiving things, Caitlin, where it's the reverse, because sometimes it's sunny and you think it's going to be cold. It's not that bad out there, is it?
No, we are thawing out today. Temperatures in the low 30s now, but we are on our way to about 40 this afternoon. It's going to feel wonderful. Today and tomorrow, we're going to be in the 40s. Satellite radar, though, does show a few clouds streaming our way. So we are going to have increased cloud cover this afternoon, but we're staying dry. You can see behind me that snow's still on the ground, too. Before those clouds started to stream in, you could get a better look at where the snow is still sitting out there. So today we're going to start to melt, and really this whole week is going to be wonderful for temperatures as the snow disappears throughout Chicagoland. Here's a closer look at our satellite radar, really focusing on the satellite portion where those clouds are building, especially from Kane, Kendall, Grundy County, DeKalb, and LaSalle County, headed to Chicago here shortly. So increased cloud cover, but still a good day to be outside, as we're sitting at 34 degrees in Aurora right now and 35 at LaSalle, 36 in Gary. A little bit cooler there in Valpo. You've been the coldest spot all morning, 27 degrees in Valpo. 31 in Waukegan, 33 at the lakefront. Temperatures are going to be peaking around 40 degrees this afternoon, upper 30s expected lakeside. Looking at our southwestern areas, though, Grundy and LaSalle County, you could be in the mid-40s. And actually, tomorrow, the upper 40s. Tonight, though, before we get to tomorrow, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I do expect lows to stay elevated, propped up in the 30s. So 33 is our overnight low. Not so bad. And then tomorrow, as I just teased, is when we're going to start to see some upper 40s in our southwestern areas, mid-40s for Chicago, low 40s near the lake. Temperatures are going to stay nice through the week into this weekend, but we have a few rounds of wet weather to talk about. I'll show you that on your full 70 forecast ahead.
All right, thanks for that, Caitlin. Spring training is underway in sunny Arizona.
We cannot wait to take you there with a live report from White Sox camp.
Memory of a killer is
The wait is over after months of off-season moves. Spring training has arrived, bringing new faces, fresh competition, and the first real glimpse of what this season could become.
Tina wins. She drew the lucky straw. She joins us from Glendale, Arizona today. Tina, you're going to be in Arizona all week. Darn it, covering the Cubs and the White Sox. So tell us what has been going on.
Yeah, hello guys from a sunny Arizona. I'm going to be honest, I feel a little bit bad saying hi to you guys from here because I know just how cold it is right now in the city of Chicago. But as you can see, yep, the sun is out in full force and we are ready for spring training to get underway and heading into this season for the White Sox. They really feel like they have a sense of direction now. Year one under Will Venable saw them really establish a culture, a standard, and an identity. We saw them really take strides here in the second half of the season. That young core, Colson Montgomery, who hit 21 home runs in 71 games, finished 5th in the AL Rookie of the Year voting. Kyle Teal, Chase Mydroth. We saw what that young core was really capable of. Add in the moves that Chris Getz has done so far in this offseason. As you look at the roster right now, they've added Sir Anthony Dominguez, Austin Hayes, Sean Newcomb as well. And Chris Getz said that they're going to continue to be active with this roster throughout spring training. Just moments ago, it was reported that the White Sox have agreed to a one-year deal with Eric Fetty. But the big move this offseason that's really surprised a lot of people, the White Sox adding Munetaka Murakami, the Japanese slugger. They signed him for a 2-year deal, $34 million, back home in Japan where he played for the NPB. He's known to have one of the most explosive bats in the country. He can hit home runs, hit 56 home runs in one season, setting a single season record there back home. So the White Sox certainly adding some power to this lineup. And by the way, Chris Getz is expected to address the media today at 3:30 Arizona time, so 4:30 your time there back in Chicago.
All right, thanks for that, Tina. We do have one question for you, though, before we let you go. What are we expecting as far as when it comes to the team and who are they going to be choosing for the actual season? I mean, do you find things out like that this early?
Oh, first off, you're going into year two.
Go ahead, Tina.
We got you.
Well, first off, you're going into year two with Will Venable, and I really think that this season, this team is really going to take a step forward. The White Sox have lost 324 games in their last 3 seasons. That is the third most in MLB history. But you look at last year, a 19-win improvement. That was second best in baseball, just behind the Toronto Blue Jays there. And you look at all the moves that Chris Getz has done so far this offseason, adding in with that young core, having really MLB experience under their belt. I think they're really going to take a step forward here.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Thank you so much. Enjoy. By the way, what's the temperature out there?
Well, I can feel, honestly, the sun just like beaming on my back right now. I'm getting a little sweaty, if I can say that on live TV. I'm going to say, what is it, Juice? Like maybe 70, 75?
Oh, it's got to be, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like 70, 75.
Wow.
I'm probably going to come back home a little more tan here.
Yeah, okay. Well, enjoy. You deserve it.
Thanks, Tina. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following for you this afternoon.
A reported ransom deadline is approaching as we mark day 9 in the search for the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. According to reports, a ransom note has threatened Nancy Guthrie's life unless the family hands over millions of dollars of Bitcoin by 5 p.m. today. In a video released Saturday, her children told the possible captors they will pay.
Elaine Maxwell, a longtime associate of Jeffrey Epstein, invoked her Fifth Amendment privilege during a virtual deposition with the House Oversight Committee. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year sentence at a Texas facility after being convicted over her role of procuring victims for Epstein. Her lawyer said she would be willing to cooperate with the panel's probe into Epstein if President Trump grants her clemency.
And the Seattle Seahawks hoisted the Lombardi Trophy. They beat the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 last night. The Seahawks defense dominated, sacking Patriots quarterback Drake May 6 times. Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker III won Super Bowl MVP.
Let's take a break now and find out what you can expect with our Monday forecast. Caitlin, what do you have for us?
Number one, it's going to be a very mild day today.
Good.
Climbing above freezing, finally pushing to the upper 30s and low 40s this afternoon. And above normal temperatures are expected the entire week and this upcoming weekend. But we do have a few rounds of wet weather to talk about. The first one not being here until Thursday afternoon, mostly west. And then again this weekend, we have the chance for a wintry precipitation mix. But highs are going to be in the 40s this weekend again. So 30s and 40s all the way through this upcoming weekend. Right now, we do have increased cloud cover. So unfortunately, compared to this morning, it is a touch more cloudy in Chicago. But Sylvia said this earlier. It's that deceiving look outside, but in the opposite direction. So it's going to start to look a little more gray, but the temperatures actually feel really nice. 6 degrees warmer right now compared to yesterday at this time at the lakefront. A 10-degree temperature jump in DeKalb. So around 4 to 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday throughout Chicagoland, leaving us in the 30s. So freezing at the lakefront and at O'Hare, as well as Midway and Chicago Heights. 34 from DeKalb to Aurora and in Morris. Here's our futurecast taking you through the day today. Temperatures, as mentioned, hovering at about 40 degrees. And then tonight, staying in the 30s. So lows tonight are going to be right around freezing, if not around 33 degrees. Then we head into your Tuesday, and tomorrow's actually going to be warmer than today. Tomorrow is going to be the winner of the week, I think, as temperatures push to the upper 40s for those of you in Kankakee to Grundy to LaSalle County. You are going to be flirting with 50 degrees on your Tuesday. For Chicago, temperatures are going to be dropping back down to the upper 30s by the evening time. And then again, temperatures staying elevated in the 20s even as we head into Wednesday, when temperatures are only going to be peaking in the 30s. So here's your 7-day outlook. 40 today, 44 tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a touch windy. We could see gusts around 25 to 30 miles per hour. Wednesday, though, we're looking good and still feeling nice, 37 degrees. Same thing on Thursday, but Thursday's the day that we could see some snowfall, especially west of Chicago, west of I-39 especially. And then on Friday, dry and 39. And then this weekend, back to the low 40s with that small chance for precipitation Saturday night, and on Sunday. Back to you.
All right. Thanks for that, Caitlin. On this Super Bowl Monday, as a lot of people are still thinking about football, talks between the Bears and the state of Illinois apparently heating up as Arlington Heights is making its play for that new stadium.
And this comes as Indiana lawmakers are approaching a deadline to pass their bill to lure the Bears across state lines. Paris Schutz joins us now with the latest. And Paris, let's start with Illinois. What is the status of talks here in our state?
All right, well, so think of this as the Super Bowl of stadiums.
Yeah.
It's Hammond versus Arlington Heights right now. And so with Illinois and Arlington Heights, what I'm told by sources close to these talks is they are meeting. They have been meeting regularly, and it's been heating up in recent weeks as the Indiana bill has moved forward. So there's representatives of the governor's office, legislators, and the Bears, and I'm told they are close to an agreement on some of the big things the Bears want. Property tax certainty. So they want the ability to negotiate their property tax level with Arlington Heights so they don't have to pay an exorbitant amount. They also want infrastructure, and I'm told that legislators are in agreement on these things. What they're hammering out is, according to sources close to lawmakers, is they want some givebacks from the Bears. They want some givebacks to the community, and they want some assurances that there will be affordable tickets at some of these for some of these seats, because the new stadium, NFL costs are really getting up there. So lawmakers are trying to use this as leverage to get some affordability in there. But there is no bill yet, and it has not been voted on, and lawmakers are not in session this week. They're back in session last week. But this morning, the governor was asked about the developments, and he sounded pretty optimistic.
The key thing for me, and this is the most important point that I would make, is we're not going to do anything that's bad for the taxpayers here. I mean, we're not throwing money at building a stadium for anybody. We are helping businesses, as I talked about some of the tools that we use. We are helping businesses build infrastructure, for example, which they would need, and other things that are sort of available, again, to any business that is growing or building something new in the state of Illinois that's putting people to work. You know, those are normal incentives, and that's what I would expect that we will end up with the Bears.
So here's the thing to keep in mind. Timeline. Indiana's legislature, their session ends on February 27. Their bill is passed out of the Senate, and the governor has signaled support. So the state of Illinois has got to get going really quick on this.
Okay, so this is interesting. So let's talk about Indiana, because the big thing for the governor is he doesn't want taxpayers to foot the bill.
Right.
If it goes to Indiana, what does that mean for taxpayers?
So Indiana is offering taxpayers to foot a large part of the bill. They would have a commission that would fund the stadium, build it, and the Bears would simply pay rent as opposed to own the stadium here in Arlington Heights. So that bill, the governor supports it, the legislative leaders, the Republicans all support it, and it has passed the Senate. It's in the House right now. The Speaker of the House has said, well, I will move this if the Bears commit. If we pass this bill, this isn't just we're passing it and we wait to see what the Bears do. The Bears have to commit and say, we're going to do this. And from what I'm told, close to the Bears are willing to play ball on that timeline. They're going to make their decision in the next 2 weeks based purely upon what's the better offer. And so the Indiana offer is further along, so Illinois lawmakers have some catching up to do. But those talks are heated. And one important point that these sources tell me is they were talking and meeting before this Indiana flirtation happened back in December. Talks were going on, and then the Indiana thing kind of put it into overdrive.
Interesting.
Okay. And then you wonder, too, if they do move to Indiana, what's going to happen to that Arlington Heights spot that they own? They own that property, right?
That's a huge piece of land. It used to be the Arlington Park Racecourse. You've got property tax revenue out of there. You got business economic development because people were going there and buying alcohol and buying things at the racetrack. So what's going to happen to that prime piece of land that the Bears own? They own that land. This is where they wanted to go from the very beginning, but it might not happen if the state of Illinois does not get rolling here.
Okay. Really interesting to watch. The next 2 weeks, huh?
Next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Look, anything can change, but the Bears, they've been at this for 3 years now. Every day that goes by, the costs go up.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get this done.
I'm sure. Okay, thanks, Paris. We'll be right back.
I'm John Morgan of
Welcome back. It is 12:37. Taking a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Right now, the Dow Jones is trading under 383.
I know, it's a very small number. We saw a historic landmark, though, on Wall Street on Friday. Now it's time to look at your business headlines with CJ Papa.
As Netflix seeks approval of their bid for Warner Brothers, the Department of Justice is launching an investigation into the streaming giant. The Wall Street Journal reporting that the DOJ is looking to see if Netflix has been involved in any anti-competitive practices and will examine the possibility of Netflix becoming a potential monopoly if it acquires Warner Brothers. All this after Warner Brothers accepted Netflix's $82.7 billion bid. The DOJ has the power to block the sale if they believe Netflix put its competition at an unfair disadvantage. Former Walmart exec Greg Foran has been named CEO of Kroger. The announcement comes 11 months after the sudden resignation of its previous CEO. Foran led the U.S. division of Walmart for 6 years, introducing online ordering and pickup during his time, as well as accelerating their digital presence. Want to move to the moon? Elon Musk says SpaceX is now prioritizing building a, quote, self-growing city on the moon, noting he believes bringing civilization to the moon can be achieved much faster than on Mars. Musk told SpaceX investors last week that the company is eyeing a March 2027 launch to the moon. And feeling a little sluggish today after your Super Bowl Sunday celebrations? Well, Starbucks is here to help, serving up free coffee to give you an extra boost. Participating locations are offering rewards members a free tall brewed or iced coffee if you purchase a qualifying beverage. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox Chicago.
Fans and music fans still buzzing about Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show.
And you could also add animal lovers to that list. And we're not talking Bad Bunny, but we're talking toads. Anita is kicking off our Chicago Live interviews with the Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. Anita.
Hey, ladies, yeah, do you remember when the Budweiser commercials used to have the 3 toads that would say Budweiser?
Right. Those were funny.
Yeah, it proved that toads could be main characters, right? So no surprise that we actually saw them in this year's Super Bowl halftime. And They were not left out of the big weekend at all. The Puerto Rican crested toad, in fact, was a part of superstar Bad Bunny's overall imagery. So Brookfield Zoo Chicago has been a part of the conservation efforts to keep them around. We always say things always come back around here to Chicago. Mike Macelis, the lead animal care specialist for aquatics at Brookfield Zoo Chicago, is joining me now to talk a little bit more about the toad's newfound fame. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Anita?
Doing very well. So this is an endangered species native to Puerto Rico, as I understand. What should people know about them?
They should know that they're, like you said, an endangered species that is native. It's the only toad native to Puerto Rico. There's maybe 1,000 to 3,000 of them left in the wild, and Brookfield Zoo Chicago, alongside the Puerto Rican Crested Toad Conservancy, is working to ensure that this species doesn't go extinct. And Bad Bunny and all of the work he's been doing, highlighting this species, has been really helpful in helping people be aware that this species even exists. So looks like you have some images there. I also have a toad here to share if you want to see one with me here. But
oh, yes. I hope he's not nervous for his television debut here.
So this one's actually a female. They're a little bigger than the males. But yeah, I think she should settle down in a moment here. Yeah, there we go.
It's okay. We like you. What was threatening them?
So yeah, so they're in danger of extinction because of habitat loss is sort of the primary one. A lot of invasive species. So there are marine toads that are a big one for them. So that's a non-native toad to Puerto Rico. So it makes a lot of sense that Bad Bunny would choose a Puerto Rican crested toad as sort of the mascot based on sort of the themes of the album and such.
Yeah, and how did Brookfield Zoo Chicago get wind of their predicament and get involved in saving them?
Sure. We've actually been working with this species for a lot of years. So I think it was just kind of wonderful that finally a celebrity kind of chose this animal as their mascot, because we've been working for many years alongside the Puerto Rican Crested Toad Conservancy to send tadpoles to Puerto Rico. So over the last decade or so, we've sent about 27,000 tadpoles back to Puerto Rico to be released and then turn into adult toads back on the island.
What would surprise most people about them? I mean, the young lady that you have in front of you and others.
Well, I think they're kind of cute, I guess. They have this little crest you can maybe see, so that would make them gives them their name, makes them a little bit more unique. But I think it's just one of the natural things that we have to protect, right? So
well,
sorry, she's being a wiggly one.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, there's a first time for everyone. I'm sure she'll be a pro next time around. But for brands, you know, you kind of mentioned product placement is everything. And so the same would be true for your conservation efforts when people learn more or maybe want to learn more about an endangered animal. Talk a little bit about how people react then and how it helps you all once there is that boost in curiosity.
Yeah, I think it's been a big year for this toad. So we have now an exhibit. So we used to do all of this breeding work behind the scenes. We now have an exhibit in our swamp building. So guests, if they want to come visit, can visit Brookfield Zoo Chicago and actually see this toad in real life. Prior to that, we only brought them out kind of for special events. So now people can come and see and learn more about them here at the zoo. But yeah, it's been a big year for Puerto Rican crested toads. We've also had the opportunity in the last year to travel to Puerto Rico with that Puerto Rican Crested Toad Conservancy and do some conservation work and monitoring toads that we released when we went out there. So kind of a big year for us, and it kind of allowed us to be more involved, more so even than we were in the previous years.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for what you all do on a regular basis and taking it a little time. I gotta say thank you to her as well for sitting still at least for a moment for us so that we could get a good shot. But thank you so much. We appreciate it, Mike. And you all know that there are many aspects of yesterday's big game that are still going to be big topics to discuss today. I'm very honored that we're going to have the president of the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture on Chicago Live again between 1 and 4 p.m. today. Beautiful imagery, lots of history that we saw. That's just one of the many topics that we're going to be talking about again between 1 and 4 p.m. online. You can catch us on YouTube, the Fox Local app, or on fox32chicago.com. We'll send it to break, and Natalie and Sylvia will be right back.
Chicago Black Restaurant Week is back for its 11th year, and it's a great way to highlight and support local Black-owned businesses across the city and suburbs. This year, more than 36 restaurants are participating, including Bronzeville Winery, Sanders Barbecue Supply, and Soul Prime. It runs through February 22nd. If you'd like a full list of the participating restaurants, visit shyblackRestaurantWeek.com.
And at 12:50, we want to take an icy look outside. So beautiful. And things are warming up for you this week. Caitlin?
34 degrees downtown right now. It is balmy outside, freezing. From O'Hare to Midway, 37 in Joliet, 36 in Kankakee. I see a 38 there at LaSalle. Northwest Indiana temperatures for you are ranging from upper 20s in Valpo to the upper 30s there in Gary. So today is going to be a mild day for all of us. Finally going to start to melt the snow that's still on the ground in Chicagoland. Here's your next 48 hours. So highs this afternoon hovering at about 40. I do expect the upper 30s for us in Chicago. Tonight, staying down around freezing as our low. So we're not dropping too far. And then tomorrow, we return to the low in mid-40s. Some of you in our southwestern counties, you could be flirting with 50 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be a very mild start to our week. But then temperatures are dropping a little bit as we work our way into Wednesday, when temperatures only reach around 37 degrees. Thursday, there's a small chance for some wintry precipitation west of the city, a high of about 37. And then on Friday, we end the week at 39 degrees with dry skies returning. Keep in mind, normal high. You can see it at the bottom of your screen. This is where we should be, 33 degrees, normal for this time of year. So we are going to be well above that. Now, to give you some perspective here, 40 degrees, that is about 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. So we are going to have that nice jump. Now, unfortunately, the clouds are going to start to increase here over the next few hours. You probably already have seen a few more clouds in Chicago compared to this morning. Luckily, though, I do expect dry skies, as mentioned, until we work our way to Thursday, when that potential for precipitation returns, especially west of the city tomorrow. That's going to be the winner. 44 degrees, a little bit gusty perhaps at times, with winds around 25 to 30 miles per hour and partly sunny skies. But temperatures will be phenomenal. Coming up, we'll show you that full 7-day forecast, including the precipitation chance that's returning again this weekend. We'll be right back.
Race.
Welcome back. The Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl champs, and audiences love the commercials as much as the big game.
Ashley Dvorkin has the ads getting all the buzz.
The Super Bowl 60 ads went for feel-good emotions and a lot of LOL. Budweiser played it safe with two iconic symbols of America. A Budweiser Clydesdale protecting a bald eagle chick from the rain.
But I think that as a country, we need to start coming back together. And I think beer is something that's always brought people together. And I think this commercial is a good way to start that discussion again, bringing folks together that'll love the commercial, regardless of what your political background is. I mean, how can you hate Eagles? How can you hate Clydesdales? How can you hate Freebird and Leonard Skinner?
Dove featured young athletes dancing in its latest service spot about body image and girls' sports. There was no shortage of celebs. George Clooney popped up in one of two Super Bowl ads from Hollywood director Yorgos Lanthimos.
Celebrity talent is definitely a driver. It brings in the fan base of those celebrities from their other assets, whether it be movies or television or music.
Sabrina Carpenter built her dream man out of potato chips. Pringle Leo. Actor and comedian Andy Samberg channeled Neil Diamond for Hellman's.
Last year they did that iconic scene from When Harry Met Sally, you know, in the deli, in Katz's Deli.
yeah.
So now they went for the music aspect.
To Best Buds. Taste Buds.
Bravo host Andy Cohen took a break from the reality TV world to walk a gigantic gummy down a red carpet for nerds. This year's Dunkin' commercial had Ben Affleck spoofing Good Will Hunting. Matthew McConaughey and Bradley Cooper feuded over football and food in a spot for Uber Eats.
Football's not selling food, McConaughey.
Mike Tyson got political talking Maha.
I was so fat and nasty. I would eat anything. I was like 345 pounds. A quart of ice cream every hour.
It is a winning issue, and I'm glad that there was at least one Maha message last night.
And vodka brand Svedka rolled out what it says is the first fully AI-generated Super Bowl ad. No actors, no crew. Several ads focused on how AI is going to change our lives, with at least 10 for AI chatbots and other services. In Santa Clara, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
So those Super Bowl commercials, did you guys watch? I mean, a lot of it did seem to be like AI was the thing. Like we just saw that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. No, I did not watch the commercials. I went to a Super Bowl party. I rarely socialize these days because I am so pregnant. And so I was just focused on catching up with my neighbors that I haven't spoken to in months.
Yeah.
But I was gravitating this morning, this is a side note, to all of the players on either team from the Chicagoland area.
Oh, we have quite a few?
There were 3 on the Seahawks team and 1 on the Patriots. Oh. Local kids doing great.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Did you get to watch any of the commercials? I felt like they weren't as good as they have been in the past.
Well,
nothing really stood out.
I walked in this morning and Kaplan said, "Caitlin, come here. Come here. Have you seen this commercial?" And he put it down, and it was the Budweiser commercial, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah. What was that one?
It was a baby eagle that couldn't fly, and so this baby Budweiser horse came over and helped the eagle learn how to fly. They grew up together, and then at the end, it's this giant, beautiful horse running, and then the eagle is on